All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. Checking to see what happened overnight. Pull up a few other things quick. So we're coming into a pretty interesting spot here on NASDAQ and ES. So if we look at the last 3-month candle, the quarterly candle, which is this one right here, we've come back into its range and the value area low right here at 58.23. We've come up and we did during the day, the very end of the day yesterday, wick off of it. Came back, had a long opportunity over the night. We've come back into this value. Now we're coming up to test the monthly level here. So the monthly low. So this whole little area right here, gonna be interesting to see if we get either a move out of it or break above, come back into this low, in which I would expect us to run back up to about 5,900 at least, just solely based on those levels. This level right here that held along, I don't see it as necessarily a strong level, so I do think if we were to come back, we would probably come take all these lows down into at least, sub 5,800. So biggest thing I'm going to be looking for right now on ES is how it reacts up in here. We're also in a gap on ES, and we will have a minor gap up. So it's going to look like that gap up is going to have filled the gap from what day is this? Oh, from March 5th to March 6th. So see if that gap up fills the gap. And it looks like we didn't tap it in Q, but it looks like the overnight session is going to be getting us right there. And then once again, we do have this gap to the downside. So now, I mean, I assume this gap would be pretty significant due to the fact this was our last structural low. It was already broken, but then we ended up getting finally a gap down move below it. So this could be a fill for continued downside movement. And I do believe that we're probably, no matter where we go up on this leg, it's going to be a lower high. But I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself to where we enter into more new low territory, at least. So I'm just keeping that in mind, looking at this more as relief rally going into the tariff implementation on April 2nd, which we're not fully aware of how that's going to affect or how it's going to be implemented yet. So there's still a bit of uncertainty going into the market, but it does make sense for there to be a rally. I can't speak. To be a rally up into that date, from my perspective. Market's about to open here, and just to make sure there's no news, we've got a little bit of consumer confidence data coming out at 10 and some home data, housing data, so there could be a little bit of movement around 10, volatility. Not the highest impact, but you never know. Also, if we do fill this gap, this is also this weekly imbalance to be fully filled. We have to realize that all these last two lows, structural lows, will close below on a weekly time frame. So let's see how this 15-minute candle, not a crazy gap up, but I will say, if we do come fill this gap before coming up to test this level, I think that would be a short, a long scalp opportunity. So yeah, definitely looks like we're gonna fill this gap. We'll come up here. Just know that we've got this gap to be filled. And the NASDAQ still has some movement upwards to penetrate that gap. VWAP would be down below here, filling the gap. Our pivot was down here. Okay. Get this little, that could have been the retest. like this is what we'd be looking for, possibly. On a 120 risk would be 4 contracts. Momentum and the trend are still up, so I want to keep that in mind. Don't want to fight it yet till we hit our POI. Pull up Ninja Trader here as well. Also, just keep in mind, usually the first 15 minutes, I don't like to trade, but if there's a viable opportunity, we can sometimes bend that rule, I suppose. We'll look at some of the other assets as well, of course. Okay, there we go, getting a little bit of movement down. Could go down to that 5/8-12 level as well. We got a 1 hour. Four-hour candle as of this moment is looking like a liquidity grab. Okay, we've come down into this level. See if we retest. In the bottom of this gap right here would be a gap fill, an RTH gap fill. Okay. Not convinced that this level would be the top. I would suspect us to at least fill the gap. I'm gonna be looking at this order block now. If we come in below and fill the gap, it's looking like it wants to take out some of the lows from pre-market. Let's make sure we identify our overnight high. We're at the full session VWAP. Overnight low. Right here. So we filled it. Pretty obvious level that other people would be looking at though. Fill the gap on VWAP. Let's see if we can reclaim the value area low. As you can see, this has been pretty good support and resistance through the pre-market up into open. We're not convinced on anything yet. Momentum is tracking pretty low here, and we got the current day value low down at 5810 into this level, into this block, that is. No need to rush into anything. I do want to check oil here, so yeah, so it's just gonna grind up. Just hoping for a retest down here. Gold, wow, okay. Looks like it's gonna come up to this previous week point of control. Should be an interesting level actually. Be a liquidity grab for further downside. Ooh, I do like this type of setup to come take this low down in here. Gonna watch that one too. So okay, as of now, we are still trying to bounce out of here. Since it is early, we de-risk a bit if we do try to get up in here. We got these equal highs sitting up here as well. We got quite a lag here on trading view. What's going on, bud? I got my Ninja Traders up. Alright. Doesn't look like anything went through. I'm still getting no closes above this value area low, although it's a bit of a zone because it's going to be dependent on the tick sizes that I use on TradingView, which is a little bit less accurate. But will this just come on?
Order submit. Order filled.
Alright. So one right here.
Order submitted.
Fuck titties. On the wrong account.
Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted.
Alright, we got our 15-minute candle. About to close here.
Stop filled.
Holy fuck.
Order canceled.
Alright, why is this not showing up? So NASDAQ as well, coming up to the previous quarter's point of control and the previous month low. So this level I expect is a magnet as well as a possible resistance zone. And that should also come up to fill a gap on the index. Bitcoin came back into the 50% level of this range. Nvidia gapped up. It looks like it's coming to fill the gap. Tesla Ooh, pretty sharp down open, coming down it looks like too. Looks like we're getting some divergences across the board on all the assets here. Bitcoin came back and retested the 618. Pretty nice rejection. See if we get another move below here. Start a little wave structure. I don't know if it'd be corrective or not, but we are kind of failing to push up in the channel. Dollar's been coming down all morning. Alright, here comes NES again. Okay, this would be our kind of last level here to look for on a long on the morning for now.
Order submitted.
So we're losing the session VWAP at the moment. Alright. Front run it so far. The low though. Yo, Grand Rising, good sir, 6 felony. Yep, this is where we come to learn how not what to do, you know? I figure you can go places to learn how to do. Some places you gotta go to and learn how not to do. You know what I'm saying? Alright, we're really gonna front run. I swear we'd be front running everywhere we fucking go. Classic. Absolutely classic. Fucking so tired of it.
Order submitted.
Yep.
Order submitted.
I can't chase it.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order canceled.
So coming up, front run this order block that came down, pretty much filled the imbalance. And we've just been, we filled the gap from overnight session, came down a bit farther. Now we're retesting the value area low. Been expecting to move up into here to retest this prior month low, as well as retest this level up on NASDAQ. Don't, unfortunately, kind of front run the level we were looking for again.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Take this on another account.
Order submitted.
A little bit more risky.
Order submitted.
What are we learning today, bud? We are learning to be patient, I guess, you know? But today we could be learning about big time volume levels. So this previous quarter value area low, this is based off of a volume level from the last quarterly candle. And it's pretty big because we gapped up over that previous quarter low. Now we've come up, and at the end of yesterday, we wicked off of that volume level, and now you can see it's become support and resistance here. Now we're having a hard time getting back over it. So if we can't get back above this, this is a high time frame level. Would expect, you know, a bigger move to the downside back into this gap. But what I've been kind of expecting was to move
Order filled.
down, up, and then down. Kind of what I'm looking for. You know? We got some volatility, man, right here with the 10 o'clock news about to come out, which is just some central bank consumer confidence data. But it's looking like the market is pulling liquidity right now and is expecting it to move it a bit. So we'll see what happens here. It's just all over the place at the moment. Fuck's sakes. Jeez. Damn. Quite the volatility here. Let's see what the newsprint was. Consumer confidence comes at 92.9. Forecast is 94.2. Previous was 100.1. So that doesn't look too good. Housing sales, new home sales were down as well at 676,000 from the forecasted at 682,000. So bleak data. All right, so we actually hit the level here now. Fuck's sakes. Looking maybe for a long off of here. We could take this little high. Just wicked above it. What are you talking about?
Order filled. Order filled.
What are you talking about? Can you not hear me?
Order filled.
Alright, so looking at gold here too. be able to hear me. Sounds like you can. Okay, good. What are you seeing, bud? What are you seeing in the charts?
Order filled.
Ooh, here comes Mr. Gold in its shining fashion. Oh yeah, it's because I was looking at the chat. I wasn't looking. I was looking at it on OBS, so I didn't see the. Didn't show me that. But I got you, bud. You wanna screech like a raptor, huh? I can do that for you, bud. I can wake you up, bud. I can wake you up, bud. Ah!
Order filled.
Gosh, nothing like a nice and early raptor screech. Fuck sakes. Good. You fired up, bud? I like that. I like to see that. Looking to take a short here on gold. No, we'll see. I'm not getting the shift I want to see. Yeah, long off of ES for sure. Looking for this move up to there. To at least 38. To take the overnight high. That is true, sir. No, but it hit the level though. Just having a hard time getting. So this is the bottom of the gap, the RTH gap. We've got the session VWAP that we're retesting. We've wicked liquidity and bounced, rejected against the previous quarter value area low once again. So it's a tough long to take right here if you are going to, because we're essentially below resistance. But that could squeeze us up into here. Okay, gold trying to make a little bit of a swing high here in our little zony zone. Our zony zoner sense. Still not looking like there's an entry yet. Okay. It's looking better. Yeah, we still have this gap to fill on ES, and then Nasdaq never even touched the gap. So, still want to see that stuff filled, ideally. We've got another gap up here on SPX. Kind of a silly high. Bitcoin. Let's see, how is this doing? Okay.
Order filled.
That's looking a lot better.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Lovely. The funded's looking lovely today. Yeah, it's just because it's just one contract, and I was just trying to space it out a few ticks on this retest here. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying, bud? I bet you don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Gold looking a lot more cleaner than ES. Let's see what happens. Come take these lows at least. But I'm honestly wanting to see down here, all the way down here. I gotta see how it trades around this EQ level. Well, there, ES is looking like it's gonna start its move up here soon. Getting real wicky around this value area low level, right?
Order canceled.
Alright, let's get some continuation, baby. Give me the continuation, baby. On gold, at least. Oh, we got 6 felony in the chat today, boys. 6 felony. Oh, he's awake. We've awakened the monster. Oh, are we going to get denied here? Another ugly looking. You got the RS accounts firing? Really? Did you make an Iron Man? An Iron Mangle? Dude, that's... Nobody wants to watch your normal account play. You know? People want to watch the Iron Man. That's what the real content is at. Got some kid to give your account 2 mil? Or you're just bank standing and acting like a noob? Say, hi, I'm 12. This is my first time playing. Can you please give me some GP, kind sir? I really want to play the game. Please, sir. Please, sir. Can you give me anything? Oh yeah. Could you please spare some coins, sir, kind sir? Alright, we got a big move going on now, baby. Let's go. Come on, let's get some follow through here. Alright, gonna be interesting to see how NASDAQ responds around here. Could cause some downside pressure on ES to where ES may not even get up above here. But methinks he uses stinks. Yeah, I played some RuneScape last night as I was multitasking. I was at Winter Toot. Got some good loot. Got 87 fire making. Pretty cool, you know. One of the best in the business. All right, we got the short is working out on gold. Let's see how it trades around here. Ideally, we come below here. Come back down to 30.28. Let's see if it even gets down there, but ES is just looking ugly. I feel like if you didn't just get down here and below here, not really a spot to enter in. Besides just playing off of the, there we go, baby, gold. Gold always coming through with the real-time movements. With the real-time movements, dog.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
gonna take profit at this 28 level, 30 level, and then reevaluate. See if we get another bearish, like a retracement. Oh wait, I need to. We haven't taken any trades. I mean, uh-oh, we're getting a bounce. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. I mean, it's where we'd expect a little bit of a bounce. Can't let it shake us out of our boots, though. Oh gosh, my shoulder's still kind of fucked up. Fucking shoulder, man. Oh yeah, there goes ES. Let's go, baby. Push it. Push it real good. I think with how, at this point, it should come up and take the high, run up to 58.38. Ideally, that means NQ is about to hit this level. So we'll be watching NQ at this level for some resistance here. Come on, gold. Go to daddy. Go to daddy's target. Be a good gold. Be real good gold. Okay. Looking pretty spicy here. Never surrender. Never surrender. All right, boom, 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 boom. I got along a lot lower on the funded than I did on the Eval. So let's see if this comes to fruition. Gold taking profit like right here. If we get there, then I want to see possible bounce, retest, and more continued downside. See Bitcoin coming back up. It's morning rejections getting flipped. We're still in this little upward channel. We hit the golden pocket in this daily naked point of control, so that was a good resistance zone, but now we bottom off the 50% of this range. We'll see if we continue up to around at least 90k or not. If we come back below here, I think we start our move down, but let's see. SWI is up, long on that. Oh. Alright, ES, come on. NQ coming up to the prior month low and the previous quarter point of control. Oh yeah, well, hold on, I gotta hide my screen because it's not logged in for some reason. It looks like there's a technical issue with Trade integration at the moment. We're currently in touch with the broker to resolve the issue. Look, so I'm on NinjaTrader right now, but there's maintenance going on with Trade and TradingView. So I just have my trades. Fuck, how do I? I'm about to add another screen for NinjaTrader, but it's gonna be annoying because I keep minimizing it. But we're long at 5817.75. Gold, we're short from literally up here, 39. Just gonna make sure I manage these because we are stalling out quite a bit. Don't want to give back anything at the moment. No worry, no need to close anything down yet. You know, we got these equal highs right here that most surely I'm not gonna worry about this pullback. I think with how it's traded all morning, with it being real pushed down below some of these resistance levels, filling the gap, kind of grinding. I'm not using order flow right now, but I'd assume a bunch of shorts are opening. But now that we got back over VWAP, back above the quarterly value area low, above the gap, that I just don't see how we don't at least come and take the overnight high at this moment. So holding long and strong, baby. Gold, I'd like it to continue, please. this is a pretty good reaction right here. Looks like it might start getting some momentum. We like to see that. Everything's looking good so far on all positions. Target for me is 5838, but you know, could be partial and up right around here. But I ideally want to sell before this block gets hit. Personal preference there. But if we take an expansion tool here, .5. Yeah, so the one.
Target filled.
Oh, target filled. You hear that? Okay, MG gold hit our level. Boom. Make sure we got filled. Yeah. So I will look for another short here on gold, but I assume, yeah. Wow, what a zone. Fucking jumped back up 3 points. So glad we took profit there. Now it's just continual. I'll watch and see if it comes back down to that lower level and then retraces again. Wow. Okay, this reaction kind of tells me that it wants to move even higher, but it might just be that this is inducement and we just come into this little block here. Boom. We'll see. Anyways, we just got a new 30-minute candle. Wow, good 30-minute closure here. The opening 30-minute candle, it came down, wicked the low, closed above. Yeah, this continues. I don't see how it doesn't. If we look at our volume profile, we did do a full rotation, and now we're back at the value area high. So, you know, we can't expect this to be resistance. Let's see if we can get some more momentous.
Target filled.
Target filled. On what? Oh shit, why is it? Why did it put, what the fuck? What the hell is that? A little ghost order? Excuse me.
Order filled.
How is that? Okay. Where should I be worried? Really, if it kind of starts coming back below 58.25, I should reevaluate. Maybe just cut the trade, but I don't really see how this is coming down from here at the moment. But I could be wrong. I really would expect this block to hold up. And honestly, any move below here, I would expect to come back down to the lows. Especially because of how we had this reaction above. Sold pretty hard into the top side of that RTH gap and reversed right away to break above these highs. Yep, there we go. See where NASDAQ? Okay, so NASDAQ has come up to this level, so my only issue with ES is if we do get a lot of resistance off of here, then ES might not make it all the way up, but oh, okay, I think it might work now. Okay. Slowing down quite a bit here. See if there's any news. Alright, NASDAQ has hit these levels now. Let's see how it responds accordingly. We do have this gap. There goes MES. There we go. Get some continuation here. We have nothing on the calendar for the rest of the day. Unless there's some just random government speak going on, but yeah, I mean at 2 o'clock Trump signed some executive orders. Not entirely sure what those are going to be. Alright, let's go. Let's run up into this target, please. The funded's looking juicy today. I know. Better than the Eval, actually. Yeah, I'm long, brother. I'm long, brother. Are you long? You see the target, 5838 for me. I might take one off right here on the...
Order canceled.
Actually, 2 off.
Order canceled.
Hey! Grand Rising, good sir. Grand Rising. Target 5850. Yeah, I mean the prior month low is a good target. Pretty much everything in this box, in this order block, from the 4 hour, is a resistance for me. On top of this prior month low. So I'm not sold on a specific level in here yet, but some sort of reaction out of here, certainly. But here we go. Let's see if we hit the target. Come on, big boy. This would be nice, because after this trade, I'll finally be pretty much back to break even on the Eval. We're up 700 on the funded at the moment. Did you catch that long, bro?
Order filled.
Alright, I closed it out on the funded. I'll let this one on the Eval continue to ride though. I'll just lock in those profits. Big time. Big time, baby. Much better start this week than last week. So let's keep that going here. Oil. I'm going to be interested in seeing what happens around here at the previous week high retest. See if we get a long opportunity out of there. Gold being silly now. No real conviction on this at the moment. And then, yeah, so it looks like NASDAQ is just bulldozing through this 20, 40, 60 level and heading towards this gap. Which makes me think that on NDX, yeah. That was filled. Yeah, I mean, we could run up, I guess, like 25, 30 more points and come into this gap as well. Oh, we just got a new 15-minute candle. Okay. So a 15-minute candle closed over the overnight high and this last high as well. So, you know, that's bullish continuation. Hydrate. Yes, sir. I got you. Cheers. Thank you, sir. Thank you, kind sir. I might have to go get some more coffee, actually. I was a bit tired this morning. I only got like 4.5 hours of sleep. Alright, so we did get this closure above the overnight high, you see. So if we're going to come back into range, the easy levels to look at are our quartiles. So our 0.255. See if that lines up with anything. And as we'll notice, wow, the 0.5 lines up with the value area low. Now I don't expect that this would come all the way down to retest the middle of this range at the moment. It's looking like we had this buy to sell interaction above these equal highs here, that if you were trying to get into a continuation trade, you would trade off of this. And this has already been touched once. So if you were to get a pullback before you hit your target, you could maybe have another trade off of this level here, 5829. But it looks like we are going to get up to this target here, so. Alright, moving slow now. Might have to switch over to NASDAQ here. Okay. So with the NASDAQ, is there anything easy to identify? Took Monday's high. This weekly imbalance has been fully filled now. Then we've got this 4-hour order block up at 586. So yeah, I think it could fill this gap here. And there's our order block. So is there another long opportunity? That's the question here. We did get a 15-minute closure above the prior month low and the previous quarter point of control. It's a pretty big level here. And you know, once we get around a big level like this, like a previous month low or a big volume level like point of control, we could have some manipulation around it until you get like a confirmation that it's actually back below it to go short, or if it's just going to stay above it. But at the moment, we do have some pretty identifiable supply points of interest. Most importantly, this gap down from the regular trading hours from March 6th. Alright, so this is being a bit fickle, but not doing anything crazy here. Try another 5-minute closure. I really want to make sure that I lock in profits on this, because we haven't been doing too well on the eval. So if it does come back below this low, which it could just wick and hit the top, I'm just gonna get out.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order canceled. Order canceled. Order canceled.
Alright, there we go. Oh, what happened to my orders?
Order submitted.
Alright, that was a nice 1-minute closure. Come on, just getting real close. Just push yourself over the finish line here, bud.
Order filled.
Okay. I'm not gonna be a dick for a tick here. Alright, good. There we go. Alright, we're back in action here with the wins again. That's good. Good to feel. Alright, pretty much back to break even. Recouped about 400 or 500 from gold trade and the ES trade here. All right, now we're flat. We're flat across the board. It's time to identify some new opportunities. I guess with NQ, just gonna wait until it gets up into this gap. You know, ES, same thing. Not too privy or too keen on taking another long up here. Okay, I am interested on still shorting gold. I just think that we might get a bounce out of here, and I want to see if we retrace up a little bit higher. And then we can look for a possible short. That's a nice rejection liquidity grab. This is where this is one of those situations where we had this double bottom and we had this big volume level down here. This was inducement. We hit this low that broke down below this last low, which was the supply's resistance flip that made the new high. So this is one of those situations where I could see us coming down here for a bigger move. So I do want to try to be a part of that if that's the case. But I also want to take heed in the fact that, you know, as you're moving down, you tend to have, you know, it can happen like this. Sometimes, yeah, just like that. But this is a pretty big level. It's the prior week equilibrium level. We did have some resistance and support around here. We had a nice impulse from the morning right here. So this is our New York Open. So it's fair to say that you could get, you know, a bounce up here to come back up and retrace into this wick. You know, or you could even come up higher, fill this out. But so that being said, where could one enter on a pullback? And we still have the VWAP below us. I guess we can look at the volume profile. So we have this big node kind of that's been forming. Previous day value area high was up here, which we retested. But I mean, this very likely could hold. But I think if you could do something more like this, and actually take this high. Okay, well, we'll see. Wait for that. And then oil's coming down pretty sharply here. Wow. I'm not gonna preset an order, but just this was the prior month low in oil. It's a similar situation as NASDAQ kind of came up. Similar situations in NASDAQ as the oil came up to the prior month low, had quite a bit of trouble trying to get up above it, and then finally impulsed out of it. And so, you know, it makes me think that at least it wants to run up to this level, test the value area low of the prior month range as well as the previous quarter point of control. So I do think that if we get this retest right here on the previous week high, where we did have a nice wick of demand, we come and fill this wick up a little bit more, retest. Nice, that's going up. So I'm long on sweet. That we can see, you know, and take these lows. I can see a possible long opportunity out of here. So this is looking like it's the closest opportunity to us. Well, this is actually a pretty far move down still, but you know, if we could get into like a situation like this here on oil, this is what I'd be kind of watching for. So keep the alert there. We'll be eyeing that like a hawk, hopefully. Sweet, very nice. Starting to impulse up and actually get above this value area high of this uptrend. Good that it did find support on the prior week levels. I don't see how this doesn't take the high and run into this order block. Alright, so gold did decide to move off of this level, but we do have this support right here, this untapped order block that did break through this high, and all of these. So this would be a pretty interesting long level. Could even look to get a scalp long out of here. I'll look on Ninja Trader here. Let's see what happens when we hit this level, because could be opportunity actually. We tend to front run these levels, which can sometimes be an early indicator of a level that's actually going to be a good one to trade off of. Is if you identify a pretty noticeable point of interest and then you're getting a front run and a move out of it, since oftentimes that first move actually comes back and gets liquidated. The same thing happened on ES this morning, where this was our point of interest, but we came down and front ran it and still ran up, you know, like 10 plus points, but we came all the way back down and actually hit it again, and that gave us even better idea that this was going to be a strong level for a bigger move up. And it was the morning reversal here up into, you know, where we pretty much took it, the profits at the high at the moment. So could have a similar situation here. Only thing with the gold though is like, if it was going to be a short, I would want this to be the high essentially made here in the morning and not really go up any farther, as it already came back below the prior week point of control. This has already been mitigated. It could come back up and tap there, but it would really be coming into this zone and taking these highs and going up here. But you know, and that's probably where our golden pocket is, so it would come into right about here. So if we were to get a long, you know, maybe could try to scalp it up to here. Yeah, I mean, gold just perfect liquidity grab. Ugly 30-minute inverted camel. I mean, inverted hammer. And then building a node above us. It's starting to look ripe for a big short down. taking Monday's high, at least down in this MPOC I've been looking at, 29.96. Nasdaq and ES still just kind of stalling out here. Not doing anything crazy. Yep. Elevator, what is it? It's you take the stairs up or the escalator up and you take the elevator down, baby. Level to level. You know? You love to see it. How we doing, Jack Sharp? Grand rising to you, kind sir. Sir kindly. Extreme kindliness, sir. Could get a bounce on oil actually at the 69 and level, not even go down to 60 at 60. Oh, and we did hit a 4-hour point of interest on supply. Oofily toofily. That shit about to pump? What is? Well, watching gold over here, as that seems to be MES and ES and NASDAQ are a little, they're kind of in iffy spots because there could be resistance up here. We already took the long this morning off of this level and we sold right here. We're just, so we're redeeming our Eval account, thankfully. But now, and we took one short on gold from up here down to right here. We're looking for a possible long scalp for another short opportunity because looking for a bigger short on gold here down to this level to take out these lows. But it's all kind of dependent on how it bounces on the prior week equilibrium here at 30.28. Bitcoin had a nice projection off the golden pocket in the daily naked point of control, but we can see it came down and bottomed off the equilibrium of this range from that low to this high. So I would expect this to run back up to the top side of this channel, probably hit 90k psychological. So because of that, we're long on SWE, looking to take this high and run into this level, profit around 254. So everything's good, nice in position, looking just for something else. She's stuck at the pre-market highs. What are you talking about? Are you talking about ES? Yeah, she's at the overnight highs. She's got this nice 4-hour order block and the previous month low that would add some downward pressure, as well as NQ being right by this RTH downside gap, but coming right above the prior month low and the previous quarter point of control. So Nasdaq is coming to an area where if it flips here, it's pretty bullish for quite a bit more upside. And we did get a retest, our first retest in the 15 minutes. So we've gotten one 30-minute candle closure above. Now, if you want to be aggressive, since this is kind of our target, is above 20.5k into this gap. You came down and got another retest of this. You could probably take some scalp longs. I don't know if I really want to take the continuation trade, but we could check out this order block that's sitting right here and set an alert. See if we do maybe get a boom, 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 you know? But still waiting on oil as well. And gold, so just kind of being patient here. see. Okay, so gold is coming down to this level. See how it trades on the 15-second. That's right. That's right. That's the formation. You heard it here first. So the weekly open price is also right on here. I forget to mark that. Okay, tapped into there. See a pretty good tap. Pretty good tap on the 15-second. Not convinced yet though. Not convinced. I'm trading futures. We've been trading the micros on ES. So MES. So in TradingView, you just type in MES, which is the micro E-mini S&P 500 index futures. And we're trading M&Q, which is, these are all the micros on the futures. This is the micro E-mini NASDAQ index futures. Then we're trading MGC right here, which is gold. This is the micro gold futures. And then we're trading MCL, which is the micro crude oil futures. These are mainly what we're looking at. And then we're looking at Bitcoin. So sometimes we're also looking at the Bitcoin futures, and then we're looking at SWI and altcoin. So these are the 6 kind of markets we're trading right now. Right now I'm primarily focused on this gold because it's at a point of interest. I'm interested to see if we get a long. It's looking like it's going to continue its downside movement, and we've been expecting a big short to come out of here from this level all the way down to 2,996. But just looking for another retracement back up for another short entry. But we could possibly not get it. And then the next thing we're interested in is oil coming down and tapping the 6860 level. The indices, otherwise the ES and NASDAQ, are reaching kind of our upside supply targets. So we're not too interested anything here. We took the long this morning out of this level. So we're good to go there. Just hold off. But yeah, this is looking like it's gonna come back. Come down. Might have took profits way too early, eh? On this. Oh yeah. All right. Well, this is good in a way because if it does come back up, it's gonna be tough though. It already mitigated this block. Don't want to chase it, but you can see that this candle closed, and when this candle opened, it immediately backtracked and filled this imbalance. So it has no reason necessarily to go back up here to rebalance. So this is going to be a hard one to get into. The only thing I can see is if it wants to come up and fill this. But we're probably bouncing off the VWAP now. Yeah, we are. And then we'll have this trend line liquidity chilling right around here-ish. So long to take this liquidity out, maybe. But now not looking as fruitful as it kind of Came and traded below this demand zone and straight through the equilibrium. So I just gotta wait and see if we get another opportunity. The ES futures have another 16 points to go if it wants to fill its gap, and NQ is about to tap into the gap. Another 30 points. Alright, retesting the prior week equilibrium. I have a feeling this is just going to continue. It's going to be hard to get a position in. I'll watch NQ, see if we get a. Looks like it's wanting to just distribute, come down and fill this imbalance. Come down to 24.55, maybe down to 44.5. I guess gold at a little bit more of an aggressive aggressive move could be if we retested a little bit higher. This flip. Something along the lines of this. Alright, 2 more minutes until the next 30-minute candle, and essentially London closes up. Let's see if we get a little bit of volatility. Ooh. Alright, NQ is starting to play out its distribution here. See how far it wants to come down, though. A pretty nasty one. 4 liquidity grabs. But we are retesting the previous quarter point of control on the prior month low. So let's see if it wants to gain acceptance into this range or not. Okay. I'd like to see, so we did get a tap pretty much on here. I'd actually like to see this first one get, it's a good reaction, but I'd like to see the first change of character get tapped like that. Gold, I don't know, that was a nice reaction. I'm gonna wait for this to at least get up into premium. Alright, so yeah, that first tab did get liquidated. This Stomp a Rock. Okay, there's our first move that might show us we're transitioning here. And straight back down.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Alright. Tight stop on that. Just 3 contracts. Took a long on NQ. Just stop below the low. Be looking for that 20.5 level if we move out of here.
Stop filled.
Nope. So just gave back about $50 right there. Still think we have a long opportunity out of here. So I'll get back in if we can close above this level. Do I mess with volatile stocks? Yeah, a little bit, but I don't like day trade them. Like I might buy some options in them or hold some for a longer term. But I don't really mess with stocks as much anymore. Just kind of the futures only. Futures are just so much nicer to trade. They're just more liquid, more clean. You get a lot more moves. And, you know, it deters the need to go through a bunch of separate stocks And I mean, I used to trade stocks way back in the day. I just think that first of all, there's just less liquidity. And there tends to be a lot of times with the stocks, if you're trading just shares, you know, you need a lot of capital and a lot of margin to really get a good move relative to what you could get in futures because of the leverage factor. Unless you're doing like options, but that's, you know, a lot more advanced. And then you tend to, like, what I've noticed on a lot of stocks is you tend to get maybe like one or two moves maybe throughout the day that are really juicy, and that's about it. The volatile stocks, like I started off doing like penny stocks and all that, and I think around 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, that's what a lot of people were doing, was penny stocks and just kind of like trading pre-market breakouts and FDA approvals and whatnot. But I never really found a good system with that. Okay, here we go.
Order submitted.
Let's see if we get filled here.
Order filled.
Got a bit of slippage there. This long is gonna happen, but it's gonna take me out before I get the chance to write it up. If this trade's a loss, I'm gonna call it a day on this account.
Order canceled.
Oh well. I'll trade that accumulation pattern every day. Alright. We'll get back some, but at least got $200 more on the Eval, $700 on the funded, which is the one that really matters. But God, I want to watch this again though. It's gonna happen again. So right here we're trading the Nasdaq, the NQ, but we're trading the micros. So MNQ, the micro E-mini Nasdaq futures. We're trading the ES, but we're trading the micros on the ES. So MES, which is the micro E-mini S&P 500 index futures. Then we're trading MGC, which is the micro contract for GC, which is the micro gold futures. And then we're trading MCL, which is the micro contract on oil futures. So this is the big four futures contracts that we trade, and sometimes as well as MBT, the micro Bitcoin futures contract. Oh, I have a feeling if it breaks above here again, it's going to be a bit momentous. But we'll try to trade back in here again. If we get a close above. Trying to accumulate a bit around this big volume level, which is the prior quarter point of control. Oil about to come down below 69. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. I'd like to see a closure above this low, this high, and then one more retest into this range. But this is 3 drives into the low here. This is pretty textbook accumulation pattern happening now. My only worry is, could just impulse out now since it's already faked out a few times, in which case I probably wouldn't have an opportunity. We have a partial, possibly take a partial there. But it's not showing us any confirmation yet. Another liquidity grab. Sheesh. Sheesh. Don't want to force a bias too much, but I don't see how NQ doesn't at least tap into the gap. There could be divergence, I guess, between ES and NQ, but to at least touch this downside gap that I got so close to, and also, only thing is, it also looks like a distribution above this previous month low and prior quarter POC, so it hasn't really gained acceptance into it. But if that's the case, then we could have a bigger move, quite a bigger move down. got a gap down here. Our weekly opening gap is right there. So one to one of this leg is up into there as well. Coming to the 50% level of this block. So ideally, if we start seeing any closures below 2440, probably not gonna try to force a long at all anymore. But let's see if we get any more shifts. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for oil. Got the hourly candle closing here soon. It's fully rebalanced, this candle. Right here is like last line of defense. Okay, so hourly closed, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. No lows have been broken yet. Still boom, 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 boom. So you get this pretty good 5-minute bottom doji, but we did just come up and fill this imbalance only. I think it's gonna move out of here. Fuck tits.
Order submitted. Order filled.
For fuck's sakes. Oof.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Oil. Shit. Oh, that one's tanking right now. Oof. It's getting, that was nice. Fucking Q. Oh, Doc, I'm gonna call it a morning on the stream
Order
here.
canceled.
Unfortunately, only went up $100 on the eval, but $750 on my funded, so I'm just not trading the eval very well.
Order canceled.
That's fine. I might take a trade on it later if I get something out of here on oil, but I've lost 3 in a row here, so I'd call it quits for that account. But luckily keeping the losses really small, so not really losing a lot. I'm not really trying to go balls to the wall with that account either, just slowly trying to, over a month, get it into a funded account. But shoot, I mean, this thing could still go up, and it's probably gonna go up once I decide to stop looking at it. But I'm gonna put my eyes on oil for now. Well, anyways, still good, profitable morning for me, so can't complain. Well, I can, but other than that, I'm gonna stream the same account tomorrow. I will still be streaming the rest of, trading the rest of the day, but just on a different account. Try to keep this, unless I see a really juicy oil setup here, I might take trade on the eval as well, but I'd like to keep most of those trades on stream. But either way, I'm gonna